Hey guys, before we get to the video, there's one thing I did overlook when I made my first batch of Chaos Chow, so I'm adding this little segment in here to explain this very important thing so that you do not make the same mistake I made by assuming that most things were going to be the same as in the Dreamcast version. So, that number that says skill, when you level up your Chow stats with animals and drives, that's the number that's going to go up, and that's the number that's directly related to how they perform. The grades, the letter grades on the right of that, ability grades, are what determine how high that skill number can go. For instance, if you level up a Chow swim stat to level 99, and its ability grade is a C, that Chow is actually going to get a less high skill number than a Chow who's leveled up to 99 as well, whose ability grade is A or S. So that's something you have to look into. At birth, your Chow are randomly assigned grades between D, C, B, A, and S. The only way to raise them, and you can only raise one grade of one stat by one letter, which is insane, I know, it's very time consuming. What you have to do, say I wanted to raise that Chow's fly stat from a D to a C. I would have to, while it's a baby, feed it a bunch of fly animals slash chaos drives, always animals because they're more effective, so that it will, when it grows up, evolve to a flying type Chow. I'll show off ability types, what those evolutions look like later probably, if I remember. I think I will. Once it did that, once it became that ability type as an adult, its grade would go up by 1 to a C. The way I would continue to do this is have it reincarnate multiple times and then continue to raise its stats each time it became a baby and was about to evolve for the first. So basically, you could do that until each ability grade is an S. But I don't think it's necessary to do it all that way. I think you have A's scattered around with S's and maybe B's, that your Chow would still do pretty well in the races if you level them up all the way to 99. But it's just definitely something you have to look at. Because if your Chow has B's and C's all over the place, he might not do so well in the races even if you level him up all the way. And never make your Chow an Immortal Chaos Chow before you deal with your grades, because after he's immortal, you can't raise the grades at all. It's impossible. That's why I had to make an entirely new set of Chaos Chow. As you can see, I have leveled all these Chow's grades to S. This takes, I'm not going to lie or sugarcoat it, an insane amount of time. I don't remember the last time I turned my Wii off. Well, okay, I turned it off for like a half hour in between segments just to let it cool down, but seriously. I had one Chow reincarnate 11 times before this happened, and that is insane when you look at the length of their lifespan. So, it's definitely not necessary to be that crazy about it, go all the S's, but definitely level them up so that it's B's, A's, whatever. I'm not sure exactly what grades are going to be necessary for you to do well in the races, but I'm pretty sure that it's not necessary for them to all be S and all level up to 99. So that's just something you can figure out on your own. Experiment with it. And as I said, never immortalize a Chow until you're done raising their grades, until they're where you want them. So I'm just gonna wait for these guys to become my new set of Immortal Chow, and enjoy the actual video. I started recording again because I noticed that this guy was ready to mate. When that ring of flowers, I love how it's like in the waterfall. When that ring of flowers and that heart appears above his head, that means he's ready to mate, as in to try to have children. So what we're gonna do is see if our Chow here wants to mate. Let's see. Wait, is it still? No, it's not still. It's an adult, obviously. Sorry, I've taken a very long break. Although you wouldn't have noticed it because I hadn't started uploading yet. So we're trying to get my bearings again. And this guy does not seem like he gives a care about mating right now. Wait, maybe this guy wants to. Let's see if we can make him do it. Come on. Come on. They have to be on their own cycle too, because they have like mating cycles, when they're willing to mate, when they're not. So, oh, and you're gonna get to see it. You're gonna get to see it on camera. Come on, don't miss this. And that's what they do. I remembered more dancing, but I'm glad we have ourselves a baby Chao. And did that one just like bow to the other one? The one who like started out wanting to mate, just start bow? Oh no, he's bowing to me. I thought I was like, thank you, sir, for helping me make this Chao. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, ma'am. Hey guys, welcome back to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Maria is 4 years old, which means she is about to die, and she is happy enough to reincarnate. I have made sure of that. And she will have been the last of my 3 Chao to reincarnate twice and be on their 3rd life. So that means we're ready to make our Chaos Chao. Now before I go into the complicated process to make these awesome Chao that cannot die, and that will help me do these races and stuff all the more easier. See, that tornado means she's dying. Normally it would be her losing 5 happiness, but here, it's her cocooning. And by the way, the fact that the cocoon is purple means that she's happy enough to reincarnate. If the cocoon was white, that would mean she's actually dying. She will not reincarnate at all. But before I get into the complicated process of making Chaos Chao, I just want to say that I messed up last time, or a couple times before when I explained their life cycle and the time it takes. I just want to straighten that out. Childhood lasts about 3 to 5 hours in this game, and after it becomes an adult, it lives for 12 to 20 hours before it reincarnates or dies. And I think my confusion was because of having played the Dreamcast game. Now to the important stuff. We have a new egg, and I know, because I did this a very thorough way, that she has reincarnated twice, and she's on her 3rd life, which is one of the many requirements for making a Chaos Chao. But there's a way to check this. If you go to the kindergarten and you go to the health doctor that is there, we can check out how old she is specifically. Let me explain more about making Chaos Chao while I bring her there to show you that little trick. Not really a trick, but you know what I mean. It's something important that you can use if you have so many Chao that you lose track. I just move all the new Chao that I'm not working on to other gardens so I don't forget. Also, I name them. See right here, Health Center, you go to Medical Chart, and right there, age goes from 0 to 4, 0 for infants, 1 to 4 for adults. Times transformed actually means times reincarnated, so that's 2. If it says 2 or more, you're good to go. But there are more requirements for making Chaos Chao. Number 1, before they become adults on their 3rd life, they have to have a happiness greater than 50. So make sure that you pet them a lot. Secondly, they must have interacted with every single one of the 21 animals, small animals in the game. Those are the ones that you collect in the normal stages. I will show you a good route to do to get all those animals in a moment after I finish explaining how to do this Chaos Chao thing. Give a little overview before I actually start working. Another thing is, and this is the annoying part, it's not that you have to balance their overall stats. It would be easier if it was just that, so that they're all basically equal between fly, swim, run, and power. You have to make sure that all their recent interactions with small animals and chaos drives are balanced. The reason I say it's harder to do it that way is because that's easier to check. And, you know, you just look at the numbers, and if they're all equal, you know that it'll go through right. But I've had moments where I thought that my child's recent interactions were all balanced because I kept on switching between animals of different types, but it went wrong. I think it has something to do with the stat upgrades of small animals not being equal and taking some away while giving some to other stats, if you remember me talking about that before. What I would do for that is basically just switch between chaos drives, which have small amounts that they give, but are always the same, are equal amongst each other, that kind of thing. So those are the basic requirements for making your Chaos Chow, and once you do it right and they evolve, they will become immortal. And there are three types of Chaos Chow, basically neutral, hero, and dark, except it's called Angel, Devil, and Light. Light. So basically, let's get working. I have my other two who are in the other gardens, so in case you were wondering why they weren't there. Let's start working on getting our Chow to 21 animals. So our first step in doing this is going to be going to City Escape to get our first batch for the 21 animals. Now there are 7 types of animals. 4 of those types are the ability types: fly, swim, run, power, you know, the obvious. Then there's miscellaneous, mythical, and ghost. It's not uber important to memorize those, but it can help you when if you want to raise your Chow stats later. So basically how this works is the hero and dark characters' stash of animals are separate. So I'm gonna collect a bunch of them with hero characters, a bunch of them with dark characters. But all the hero characters can only hold 10 animals at once. So after I get 10 of the 21 animals with one story, I'm gonna switch around, go back to the Chao Garden and drop them off, and then get the rest of them. Because otherwise, obviously, you won't be able to carry them. What you don't want to do when you're doing this is pick up Chaos Drives or animals that you already have, because your room is limited. Alright, I got the rabbit, raccoon, and now the sheep. The skunk is also here somewhere. We can find him. And then if we open all 3 Chow boxes, we will get the mythical creature that is in this stage. Forget I said that. They're just ones that are spread out around the level. But the reason I said that is because they're also kind of special. Like the mythical and the miscellaneous. Right? The mythical and the ghost. I'm talking about them. And the reason that is because unlike the other animals, those animals don't take away stats as well as increasing stats. So that's something to keep in mind when after you create your Chaos Chow that's immortal, when you're trying to bring their stats all the way up. Definitely something to keep in mind. And oh, I almost grabbed that Chaos Chow by accident. Yeah, try not to homing attack people. It tends to lead to you grabbing Chaos Drives you don't want. And I am dying for a skunk, but it's just not happening. Yeah, I have. By the way, if you pause, you see what animals you have. Also, whenever you get a new animal, you see your stash. So that's good. And remember, this is the stash for all the hero characters. Dark Story stash is separate. So, Shadow Eggman, all of them, they have entirely different storage. And here at the 3rd Chow box, we'll get ourselves a unicorn. Still waiting for that stupid skunk. Yeah, I forgot that the skunk was under this car here. Had to come back for him. Yeah, the animals that wander around the stages and are already outside of pipes or boxes, the ones that aren't in those, they don't change up when you restart the stage. But the ones that come out of the 2nd box and the ones that come out of pipes, they change from time to time. Our next step is Green Forest. We're gonna get 2 animals here. This is a route that I think I either totally copied from someone else, like a friend of mine or someone I saw on the internet, or I love how I admit it straight up, or something I modified from something I saw. I also looked up online where all the animals are and tried to come up with a really efficient way of doing things. Yeah, but as I was saying, it's I promise you, well, you already know, my live commentary in my 2nd LP, Star Wars Battlefront 2, will be much more put together. It is much more put together, because you're already watching it. Hey, yeah. But, as I was saying, I don't even know what I was saying anymore, to be quite honest. We're not going to worry too much about it. I'm sure it wasn't that important, or I would have not forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, both these animals are just out in the open in specific places, so we don't have to fear. The hatfish, as it's called, is right there in the grass. So it's hard to see him at first. Our first ghost. Interesting. So we're going to exit that stage, and we're going to go right to Metal Harbor. And I still cannot remember what I was going to try to say, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, there are 4 animals that we want here.